Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And there we go. We are off. A brand new live edition of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen and no Drew DeArmond today. Drew hit the snooze button. Well-deserved break there for the road traveler, Drew DeArmond, enjoying too much regional baseball in Tuscaloosa. That's what happens when a game doesn't start much before 10 o'clock and you try to pull an all-nighter like you do in college. When you stay up all night to study and then the next day you're just worthless.
I would invite people to go check out yesterday's video just to look at Drew DeArmond when you guys were at Bill Penny Toyota.
Yeah.
He was a zombie.
Well, he was a zombie on fire.
Yeah. Yes, he was.
Mike Florio took a lot of that. He's not coming to dinner, Bailey. Mike Florio's not coming to dinner.
No.
That's one guy we can cross off the list. Yeah. So here on the morning show,
who's on that list?
Instead of
Dennis Dodd.
Talking about people and being like whatever, they're never coming. So we just cross off people coming for dinner. So it's Bailey, Drew, and I sitting at the table, and right now we don't have too many people coming to dinner. We don't have too many people.
So Florio, Dennis Dodd, Dan Woken.
Yeah.
Who else is on that list? Who? Oh, Dirtneck, yes. Yeah, good old Dirtneck. How many more Drew and Aries can we plug in here before?
We've had so many of those. We've added a bunch. I thought we added one yesterday. He came up with a new name yesterday, but I just can't remember it. But anyway, Drew's out today. In fact, both of us will be gone the rest of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
That's right, yeah.
So this is it for yeah.
Mornings are awfully early. That's all I've got to say about waking up this early.
But it's not the sun. When the sun comes up like this and you're driving in, you don't even feel like it's 6 o'clock or 6:30 or whatever.
During this time of it feels good. The calendar, it does feel like you're supposed to be awake.
It does.
Because there are certain times when you wake up and it's midnight outside. It feels like it's midnight, but anyway.
Well, there was still a lot of stuff yesterday. We have followed SEC baseball. We have followed the NCAA regionals. They wrapped up yesterday. Good news for the SEC, some tough news for the SEC. Another big national seed goes down, and that is 5th seed Arkansas. TCU came in, and you want to talk about being on fire. TCU probably scored 1 million runs in their 3-game series against Arkansas. They win 12-5 yesterday, so the Horned Frogs, they move on to super regional play. But for the second time in program history, Kentucky is through supers as they knock off Indiana 4-2. The others expected to win. They did. Florida gets a win over Texas Tech. LSU gets a win over Oregon State. Texas A&M does have to go on the road last night against Stanford. They fall 7-1. That was on the West Coast. So the Aggies, they bow out of the regional tournament. So your super regionals look like this now. They are completely set. Wake Forest will take on Alabama. That series will be right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and I believe today is the day they will announce when series will start.
Later this morning.
Yeah, the other big thing that we're waiting on, and Vince Ferrara is going to join us later in the show, is who gets to host between Tennessee and Southern Miss.
Yeah.
Because had Auburn won that regional,
they would be hosting.
They would be hosting Tennessee because Tennessee goes on the road. They upset Clemson in that regional. So now the committee has to choose between Tennessee and Southern Miss. I have a feeling John Cohen, the Auburn athletic director, who is making that decision, ultimately will make that decision, I have a feeling he'll go Southern Miss because he felt like going into the regionals, Southern Miss should have been hosting. They did enough to host. He felt like they were like number 17, 18 on that list, top 16 host. I have a feeling it's going to be Southern Miss. Could be wrong, but I have a feeling it's going to be Southern Miss.
And that was a great atmosphere as they hosted, I think, Supers last year.
They did. They played Ole Miss, came within a game away of getting to Omaha. Ole Miss, we all know the outcome there. They they have to fight their way through that super regional, and then they go on to win the national championship game. So that just tells you how good of a program Southern Miss had last year, and they have a great one this year because they had to battle back from the losers bracket to take care of Penn in the regional final down there on Sunday in Auburn. With the SEC last year, remember they got half of the field in the College World Series. They got 4 teams in. They're guaranteed already to get 2.
Yes.
15th seed South Carolina will travel to take on 2nd seed Florida, and 12th seed Kentucky will travel to take on 5th seed LSU. Those are the 2 guarantees for the SEC going into Omaha.
Well, and I mean, I was really hoping to see Texas and Texas A&M square off, and that is not the case. Stanford had other plans late last night. In fact, that was the last game of the regional rounds as they won 7-1 over Texas A&M. So there's also there's no doubt that Texas would have hosted had that happened, but that's no longer the case there. Is that Stanford and Texas in that super, but Florida and South Carolina, that's going to be fantastic. LSU and Kentucky, I've seen a little bit more of LSU than I have of Kentucky this year. So
LSU has great. I mean, they're number one. Their ace is fantastic.
Yeah.
Beyond that, their bullpen, their starting pitching can be a little suspect. So Kentucky has been playing very well down the stretch. And then you got Virginia and Duke.
All ACC.
Yeah.
They are guaranteed the ACC.
Well, they get 1 team in. They're going to get 1 team in, possibly 2. Wake Forest has a great pitching staff, solid pitching staff. But their road, but this is where the NCAA tournament resembles basketball. The Wake Forest is the number 1 overall seed. Alabama, remember, was the overall number 1 seed this year when it came to the college basketball tournament.
That's right.
And their road, your first game is usually your easiest for them. They tend to give you the easiest of the games for your first 2 rounds. Wake Forest, that's how it's set up for regional baseball. Wake Forest did not have to work too hard in their first 2 matchups, or even their 3 in their regional, did not have to work too hard. This is kind of like Alabama having to face San Diego State in basketball.
A little bit.
San Diego State was a fantastic basketball team, a great defensive team. We all know the outcome. Alabama comes to Wake Forest. Alabama's swinging the bats pretty well. Their pitching has been good. This is going to be a series that Wake Forest is going to have to work for. So that's kind of how we can relate it to basketball for all of our baseball fans that maybe not follow a lot of NCAA baseball.
Wake Forest is 50-10 on the year. They have not lost consecutive games this season. So,
yeah.
Other than that,
And I think their ERA, their pitching staff ERA is like 1 or 2, if that, as a team. They've got a couple guys with some point ERAs and some 1 ERA. I think their highest guy is a 2. So they have a very, very talented pitching staff. So Alabama's going to have to navigate that, and we'll break it down, I'm sure, as it gets closer to the weekend.
I think if Alabama were to get to the College World Series, I think Alabama would be obligated to hire Coach Jackson, the interim baseball coach.
I think they're already there.
You do?
I think they're already there. I think getting Alabama to, and we talked to a couple people this past week and a half, that if they got to the super regionals, it would be really hard not to hire him as the head coach. I think if he gets to the College World Series, that is just icing on the cake.
Yeah. No, it's...
I mean, how do you not reward a guy who took over a situation that there was water coming in on the boat?
It was the Titanic.
And it was going down.
Yeah.
And he
was somehow able to patch it.
But it also just goes to show you, and with every win that Alabama gets, the further they get in the NCAA tournament, you have to look at it and look at how many of the decisions that Brad Bohannon made were affected by either him putting money down on Alabama or betting on games. Because we don't know how many more he bet on. We don't know.
No.
And so this Alabama team was expected to be good. Maybe, I don't know if they were expected to be super regional good, but there was talent there. And so you wonder now if the team is playing up to the potential where they should have been playing, and if Brad Bohannon made questionable decisions because he knew what he needed to have happen for games.
This story broke a little over a month ago. That was right before the Vanderbilt series started on May 4th, and that was of course, 11-2 win over Vanderbilt. But since then, it's just been one big win after another series win. That was a series win over Vanderbilt. They won that weekday game over Troy, then Texas A&M. That series, they won 2 out of 3. We know how hot Texas A&M got down the stretch. The sweep over Ole Miss as they disappointed this season after capturing the whole kit and caboodle last year. And then the SEC tournament of the little back and forth, the Florida game, that 11-inning game against Florida when they went up by 3 runs, but then ran into Vanderbilt before Vanderbilt. It is as hard as it is to predict the NCAA basketball tournament. I would say it's doubly hard to predict the baseball tournament. It is just ridiculous.
All right, 7:12 here on a Tuesday morning. Time to get our first break. Forgot
Come
what
on
day
now.
it was.
Come on now.
Got to get our first break in when we come back. Phone lines open to you, 256-576-4977. More college baseball news, and we're going to slip some college football conversation in next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
We are still all clear this morning. Traffic looking good across the valley. You be careful. You're going to be in heavy traffic. Put some extra room in there so you got somewhere to go if something does go wrong around you. 2030 Fast Track can make your clothes fall off. Greg lost 92 pounds in 6 months on the plan. A free hormone quiz will tell you if it can work for you. 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Beginning Friday morning, get $50 worth of delicious food from Coralejos Mexican Grill for just $25 with our zone deal at 977ESPN.com. Coupons good for food purchase only.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Philip Love of not only Eagle Insulation, now he represents Eagle Companies. Eagle through the years have added several companies to help individuals or builders through their construction renovation process. Eagle is known to represent quality, efficiency, and professionalism. Philip, I know you do insulation, but do you do masonry?
We do.
Do you do grading, erosion control, and dirt hauled off?
We do.
Do you do afterpaint, which includes shower doors, mirrors, shelving blinds, and bath hardware?
Yes, we do, Wes.
Do you do landscaping and irrigation?
Yes, we do.
So basically, Eagle can help you all along your process of building your house or doing renovations. So do you do plumbing?
We do not, Wes, but we can find somebody to do it.
Just give them time. They'll be there. Anyway, call Eagle Insulation at
256-755-1556.
Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Call Eagle today.
Thanks, Wes.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
I want to thank you. Thank you for making us your number one choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hi, there we go. Welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson and Steve Moulton filling in for the illustrious Drew DeArmond today. No Drew DeArmond. Drew enjoying a day away. As you say in the business, Drew is on assignment.
He's napping at the moment.
Studying his house.
Yes. Yes.
Drinking some Dr. Pepper, strawberries and cream.
Oh.
So that story came. So we've been wanting. I've been wanting him to try that because he tries a lot of different things.
Yes, he does.
And I could never find it with zero sugar. Well, he was at the store one day and found the non-zero sugar version. And what did he say? He drank about a fourth of it and then looked at the sugar count and realized that you probably shouldn't be drinking.
Yeah, that's probably not a good idea.
Yeah. So, all right, 256-576-4977. That is the name. That's the number to get us a part of the show this morning if you want to be a part of the show. College football news, just an interesting thing here. Where was I going to point out? Oh, J.D. Pickell from On3 Sports so yesterday on the show, we talked about the article from Mike Florio saying that Nick Saban, the whole reason why he is on his way to D.C. is because he's scared. Because he's scared of the NIL, and he's scared that Alabama's not going to be able to compete with the big dogs, and that Nick Saban's going to leave. He even hinted in the article that Nick Saban is going to leave, and that he could leave and go to a school that has deeper pockets for NIL, and that he's scared of the outcome. He doesn't like it. And that's why he wants it to change, because he can't hoard recruits anymore like he did several years ago. That's basically the whole premise of the article, is that everybody else now is on an even playing field with Nick Saban. And Nick Saban's not going to be able to recruit the way that Nick Saban wants to recruit. Have you seen that Mike Florio article?
Yes, okay, I have.
Good.
Yes.
So J.D. Pickell says, hey, not so fast. He agreed with us. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Nick Saban and Alabama are going to be able to utilize NIL to benefit them. NIL isn't going to hurt Nick Saban. For Nick Saban, NIL isn't an obstacle. It's a tool to improve his roster and improve his overall situation at Alabama. And so to say that somehow he's fighting NIL because it's going to hurt his team long term, my question would be, what is that founded on? Because other schools in the SEC are using NIL to try and compete with the players that he wants? Okay, I'll hear that. But again, we go back to how he's recruited. Number 1 class last year, top 3 class right now. Doesn't look like it's hurting him. Looks like it's a tool. Look like he's doing just fine in the NIL landscape.
Yeah. No, it's to think that this is going to hurt Nick Saban. I think he's devising a strategy. And does he want legislation? Yeah, of course. I think all coaches and all athletic directors want legislation. That's why they're heading up to the Hill on Wednesday. But, yeah, to think that Nick Saban would leave Alabama because in other states, Drew said it very ably yesterday here on this program of I would share that opinion on Mr. Florio.
Yeah.
Just know your lane, stay in your lane, and just enjoy the NFL beat and just stay over there.
Now, does Nick Saban not like the way NIL is going? Yes. I think that's where that's where it's getting misconstrued.
That's true.
As to where Nick Saban, why he doesn't like NIL. Because it was never intended for collectives to be there to entice recruits to come to your school. That was never the intention of NIL.
Correct.
The intention of NIL was once you get there and you perform,
name, image, and likeness.
Guys can go get deals for food or deals for something. They can get a little bit of extra income. They can get a little bit of an endorsement. When this college video game comes out, they can get their name on that.
That's right.
Those were the intentions of it. And I think when Nick Saban speaks and he says, you know what, we need to put some guardrails on this, people are thinking, oh, he doesn't like the fact that he's not going to get recruits anymore.
Yeah.
Nick Saban didn't get all the recruits even before NIL. He got a lot of them, but he didn't get every one of them.
I'll say he got...
But, he didn't get 100% of them, and he's not getting 100% now.
No, that's never going to happen.
No.
But
I think people misread his intentions for stopping the NIL.
Yeah, and it's a good point, and it's something that needs to be focused on and moving forward. If something does not get done immediately, and it doesn't look like it's going to, I'm afraid of what the ramifications this is going to have for the collegiate game that we follow so closely, and what this is going to do to the sport itself moving forward if there is not legislation coming down.
I think the NCAA is scared the most about not NIL, but about kids wanting to unionize and become state employees.
Yeah. But if you go that route, remember, you're going to have to tax everything.
Well, you got to tax, but think about this. Kids would be eligible. If you tell a football team at a Division I level at Alabama and Auburn where there's 105 guys or something like that, or whatever,
at least if you count the walk-ons, it's more than that.
Every one of them are eligible for state health care.
Yeah.
Every one of them at Alabama and Auburn, UAB, South Alabama, Troy, Alabama A&M, Alabama State, North Alabama, every one of them, if they all decide to be Jacksonville State, if they all decide that every football player, I'm just using football as the sport.
Well, because it's the revenue generating.
Yep. They would all be eligible as state employees, because you're state employees, be eligible for health care. So that means everyone in the state that pays taxes are going to be paying for their health care. And for 4 years, you're going to get state health care. Yeah, you get taxed on everything, but the state also has to provide them with health care options because you're state employees.
So the other factor that poking around the spring meetings last week down in Destin and talking to a lot of folks off the record is the fundraising arm. And I heard from more than one athletic director, and also I did talk to a handful of chancellors as well, and almost in unison, it's almost as if they passed out the pamphlet on, hey, if you get asked this question, here's your answer. But at least what I was told was that the fundraising arm, that NIL, is affecting half of what they usually bring in. 50% is significant, at least in my mind, of what universities are used to operating and building new buildings, and feels like there's an orange cone on top of every SEC campus on trying to keep up with the Joneses from a facility standpoint. But 50% not being raised, that to me, I thought that was a big deal.
Yeah. Well, because this was interesting because the collectives that people are using are taking money away from schools.
That's right. Yeah.
So that is unless the schools in Alabama, Texas A&M, I believe schools, Florida, the first thing that they do when they have these collectives is they meet with the school so that they can work hand in hand.
That's right.
There are schools across the country that are not working with their collectives because they don't want the money to go to the collective because they're afraid it's not going to go to the school. Mm-hmm. So they don't want to work hand in hand with each other.
That's right.
Iowa.
Well, that's why they are not under the same umbrella.
Yes. But Alabama, they're working hand in hand. In fact, I believe they have their own. I mean, they're kind of in the same building.
Yes, they are.
They don't work. They're not the same entity, but they're together to where they can communicate with each other.
Different hallway.
Yes. Yeah.
Different wing.
Yeah. Let's just build another building for our collectives.
I mean, it's just another thing.
All right, 7:27. Should we get a break in? Let's get a break in.
Let's get a break in.
All right, 256-576-4977. We're halfway done with hour number 1 here on Talking Ball.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. Some of us could see the lower 90s. Isolated showers are going to be possible. Most of us probably end up staying dry. Temperatures drop into the low and mid 60s through the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Wednesday. We're climbing into the mid and upper 80s with a couple of isolated showers. Dropping into the lower 60s as we head into the overnight. A little cooler on Thursday, still with a partly sunny sky. Temperatures climbing into the lower 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The Braves are one of the hottest teams in baseball, and they're showing the National League that they are a force to be reckoned with.
2-2 pitch, and there's a bullet out to center field, down for a base hit. Here comes Eddie. Braves win it!
Tonight, the Braves are back in town for another huge National League East showdown as they take on division rivals, the New York Mets. Braves Radio's on the air at 6:05 Eastern, 5:05 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Streaming June 8th on Peacock, a new original series called Based on a True Story.
She is the victim of the West Side Ripper. It's him. I know my killers.
Variety listed among the most anticipated shows of the summer.
But if we make a podcast about this, we could bring him in on it.
Bring the killer in on what?
The podcast.
From the Emmy Award-nominated producer of The Boys and the Emmy Award-nominated executive producer of Ozark.
Are you in danger?
No, I'm hiding something.
We are in too deep.
Starring Kaylee Cuoco and Chris Messina. A new original series called Based on a True Story. Only on Peacock.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Still not much to it this morning. Traffic at a heavy level, but we don't have anything on the board accident-wise. No stalls or traffic signal headaches. You be careful. Put extra room in there so you got a place to move to if you have to move. D&L Refrigeration repairs heating and air conditioning units for homes and businesses. D&L 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Make this the summer you finally get your own backyard pool from Superior Pool Construction. Family owned and operated, our team can have you swimming and splashing in no time. And now is the time to choose your custom fiberglass pool. Superior Pool Construction has a few spots still open for quick installation this summer. 80 different pools to choose from and 12 in beautiful Diamond Tech colors. All come with a 50-year manufacturer structural warranty. Call Superior Pool Construction now. 256-284-5953. 284-5953.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. See, I'm so used to saying that. So that's like when we go to University Kia, if we do the show in the afternoon, it just comes back on, and it's just, I'm so used to saying morning that.
Yeah, I heard that the other weekend as well.
Yeah. So there you go. 256-576-4977. That's how you can be a part of the program. Steve Moulton filling in for Drew DeArmond. And
Drew needs sleep.
Yeah, and Brett Drinkard, who joins us every morning on Facebook, sending us a message saying that Drew is catching up on his Falcon crest.
That sounds about right.
Yes. And if we had it, I don't have the theme handy.
No, cue up the horns.
Cue up the horns.
Cue up the horns.
We played the horns. We play a lot of stuff here in the mornings. Yeah. I forget what it was last week that we started playing, and we went through it.
I missed that.
We got reminiscing about, you remember what it was, Bailey, that we played last week on YouTube? I'd have to go through and search it to figure out what we played. But we were really reminiscing about things last week. I can't remember what it was.
I know Drew likes old school rap. I mean, I know that's like in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, it wasn't
NWA.
rap. It wasn't.
Okay.
I forget what it was, but we had a lot of fun reminiscing about certain things. So Matt Hayes. Matt Hayes from Saturday Down South, and obviously the conversation last week surrounding the SEC was all about the schedules.
Yeah.
And 8 games, 9 games, and the peanut gallery, the national media, all basically criticizing the SEC for going with 8 games. Matt Hayes took a step further and basically called it an an embarrassment of hopelessly botched scheduling farce. That's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words that he used. An embarrassment of a hopelessly botched scheduling farce. And said basically, if he is Greg Sankey and he's sitting in the office, he's calling the SEC scheduling gurus, Mark Womack, Charlie Hussey. He's getting them in the office. He's calling in retired scheduling guru Larry Templeton, and he's basically telling them do whatever it takes to punish these teams. You schedule Alabama. If you're doing Alabama's schedule, you make sure that you schedule them LSU, Tennessee, Auburn, Georgia. You schedule everyone. If you're Georgia, you throw them to you make them go to Texas A&M where they've never been. You make them play Texas. You make them play Florida. You make them play Tennessee. You make them play all of these good teams. You punish these teams for coming out with 8 games instead of 9.
I think that's fair. If you really want to make a point here moving forward, but what? There was a thought that I had about comparing this to the 2020 COVID year when we had that 10-game SEC schedule.
Yeah.
And not everybody – remember the Arkansas schedule where we just thought, oh, my gosh, are they going to win a game? Where I really feel like once we hit the 14th, there is going to be an SEC team that's going to get screwed. It's just going to happen. And I wonder what team that's going to be. It's going to happen, but although 8 games, I am still hearing 8 games is going to happen for 2 years before they go to the 6-3 model. But we'll see how this happens here for this 1-year experiment and see what kind of blowback that the SEC gets. I think that's why they didn't go ahead and just announce, hey, we're doing this for 2 years, and then Greg Sankey is, if you've learned anything from the SEC commissioner, especially at post-COVID, he's going to take his time on every single thing and last minute as many things as he can. And this is probably the most notable of all that, of going with this 7-1 formula here out of the gate. But, yeah, I think there is going to be a team that's going to have Georgia, Alabama, LSU. There's going to be some kind of gauntlet for a team out there.
So in the article, Matt Hayes writes, the SEC schedule, he goes, think about this. The SEC schedule was scuttled by 4 programs that have been carried along by the rest of the league for decades, and the greatest coach in the history of college football complaining about playing 3 programs he has a 38-10 record against. He says it's absolute lunacy. He says if you're worried about not winning 6 games and failing to qualify for the postseason because you have to play 9 SEC games, you've got much bigger issues in your shop.
Yeah.
He says if you want a guaranteed postseason, join the ACC.
Do you really think Nick Saban changed his mind just simply because of the 3 schools that were Alabama's rotator of the permanent schools? That'd be Tennessee, Auburn, and LSU. Do you really think Nick Saban looked at that and said, well, that's not fair? I mean, I know it's being published. It feels asinine to say it out loud, does it not? When you take a look at the record that he's accumulated against those 3 teams.
256-576-4977. That's a good one for everyone that's listening. Do you think Nick Saban actually was scared or actually is tired of having to play Tennessee, Auburn, and LSU every year?
It feels like there is something that we're missing in this whole story, and I don't know what that is. But the fact that people are picking up the football theoretically and running with it, saying that Nick Saban is scared, I can't buy that. Do
you buy the fact that that they're worried about the college football playoffs and if a 2-loss team or a 3-loss team would get in with 9 games? Or do you think that's just a crutch for them to lean on and kind of convince everyone that they don't know about the playoffs, so they're just going to hold off? And, basically someone in the PR department is saying, hey, use this as your crutch.
Yeah.
Get through. But as you kind of alluded to, the real reason we'll never know.
Yeah, I feel like there is something that is not out there, and I'm trying to figure that out. And I was trying to figure that out last week in Destin, but I realize there's a lot of television contracts out there and a lot of money, and things are shifting in terms of television contracts just because of how things are getting delivered now.
Well, unless you're in the Big Ten.
Well,
and Kevin Warren messed that up so bad that they've got to figure out what they're doing.
I heard the Pac-12 spring meetings are at a Motel 6 this year. So,
well, the Big 12s were in West Virginia.
Oh yeah, there's some pretty parts of West Virginia.
Yeah, but it's not.
But it's still West Virginia. Not exactly. I don't think there's any beachfront property there at West Virginia unless someone's moved West Virginia to Delaware.
I don't think. Let's see here. So now that got me thinking. So this is where we would go.
Yeah. Where would we go in West Virginia?
Yeah.
There's that golf tournament that happens every year, and I think the New Orleans Saints that's their summer workout facility is up there in West Virginia. Oh, yeah.
See?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I think of the Big 12 meetings, this is what the first thing that came to mind yesterday, because we were bringing up the Big 12 meetings. Because we alluded to the fact that the SEC had some real problems to go over, and that was the scheduling format.
Are they obligated to burn a couch?
You know, that's what we were talking about with the SEC. The Big 12 had some discussions to talk about, and that was whether or not they wanted to invite Colorado and Arizona into the Big 12.
Feels like that is going to happen, and then that would spell the death of the Pac-12.
Well,
are they obligated to burn a couch when they go into
West Virginia?
I think that's the motto of West Virginia.
It's just a good song, don't
It is. It really is. Yeah. I've always wanted to go to a game just to hear this being played.
Oh, just go to the Big 12 media days.
Yeah. When LSU played at West Virginia, I wanted to go to that game just to hear this. Mountain Mama.
Oh, anyway, so that's where, I mean, Matt Hayes has got a good point, and there's lots of times that we don't agree with him on this show.
No, you don't.
I shouldn't say we don't agree with him.
Drew.
Someone does not agree with Matt Hayes.
I bumped into Matt last week, and I said, well, someone is very critical of you, and I did drop Drew DeArmond's name, and you said, oh, okay, all right, good to know. So Matt is aware of...
Matt Hayes is one of those guys. Matt Hayes is not coming for dinner, I believe. Yeah, Matt Hayes is not coming for dinner.
He's on that list?
Yeah. Yeah, Matt Hayes is done.
He can't be as high on the list as Dennis Dodd.
Well, it doesn't matter. Once you don't get an invite.
So once you're on the list, you're on the list?
Once you don't get an once you don't get an invite for dinner, you're done. You don't work your way back into the table.
There is no rankings of this list.
There's no rankings.
Once you're in the closet, they close the door and throw away the key. Is that what you're telling me?
We don't mind.
This ain't a closet now. This is turning into a paragola.
We don't mind people coming out of the closet. We just can't come out of the closet and go to dinner.
Oh,
we got to get a break in. 7:44
on Mama.
Hey, yeah. On a Tuesday. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Traffic seems to be moving along smoothly. No wrecks, no stalls, no traffic signal headaches to report. Watch for turn lane construction on Wall Triana near Electronics Boulevard. Great summer start at the Y and Camp Chalky on Lake Guntersville. Overnight or day camp, kayak, zip line, go on the giant swing or even the blob. Chalky.org or call the YMCA. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Since 1998, Scooter's Coffee has delivered high-quality drinks with quick service and a big smile. And the folks at Scooter's Coffee know a great cup of coffee or other drink can bring a smile to just about anyone. Yes, we specialize in great coffee, but Scooter's also has smoothies, teas, and delicious food items, too. And this week, Scooter's is our zone deal. Right now, get $50 worth of Scooter's in Huntsville for just $25 online at 977ESPN.com.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
All right, there we go. Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. 7:49 on a Tuesday morning.
He did it again.
What did I do again?
I'm not Drew.
Ah, dang.
And all of a sudden, I hear the groans out there in North Alabama.
Only fitting.
I am not Drew DeArmond. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah.
Get it right.
Yeah.
Get it right. So, Steve Moulton here with us. We want to invite you to circle that calendars for Monday, June 19th. It's the 2023 Woody Anderson Ford Rocket City Awards presented by the Huntsville Sports Commission. The gates are going to open at 5:30. Awards are going to start at 7. And it's going to be a night of celebration. We want you to come. It is open to the public. This isn't something where you got to be nominated for to come. Your team's got to be nominated to come.
Yeah.
Anybody can come throughout the city. We want you to come. We want you to be a part of this night of celebration. In Talking Ball fashion, we're going to give you food. We can't promise it's going to be good, but we're going to give you food.
No, I think this is high-quality stuff.
Okay.
I really...
It's not going to be hot dogs and nachos.
No, this
we're
is
giving
not...
You,
yeah.
We're giving you some good stuff.
No saucy sheriff in town for this.
No rubber chicken.
No.
977tickets at gmail.com. 977tickets at gmail.com. Give us an email. Send us a note. We will give you all the ticket information. We will get you set up with tickets. We will let you be a part of the night of celebration there at Mars Music Hall, June 19th. So in just 13 days,
that's right,
we are going to have this there at Mars Music Hall. It's going to be a great night.
It's our inaugural award show. This is long overdue. If you consider the amount of talent, and certainly this area is growing by leaps and bounds, but if you consider the talent that we have in this area that branches out on the professional level, certainly on the collegiate level, but these high school kids, they deserve a spotlight, and we're also spotlighting the local colleges, be it at UAH, UNA, just across the board, Alabama A&M. So we're trying to spotlight and put they've justified this spotlight, and we're just trying to help their journey out a little bit, as well as informing the public of how good our athletics are right in our own backyard.
Yes, so that is going to be at June 19th. Among the awards we're going to give out, we're going to give out the High School Athlete of the Year on both the boys and girls side.
That's right.
Your High School Team of the Year on both the boys and girls side. We've got your North Alabama College Team of the Year on the men's and women's side. We've got your North Alabama College Coach of the Year. We've got your Pro Athlete of the Year, which is from the area. We've got your college, your major college Athlete of the Year. And everyone will be nominated. It's like the Academy Awards. We've got nominees. We've got award winners.
That's right.
This is where we're going to have a production. This is going to be a production.
I'm actually looking for a suit to buy. I know you.
So is Drew.
Yeah. I feel like Drew and I could probably shop in the same mall.
Skinny leg? Are you going to the skinny suit?
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Yeah, every joker out there wants to see me squeeze into a 10-pound bag on a 20-pound bag of meat. Yeah.
But no, yeah. So we will dress up. We won't have tuxedos on, but
yeah, no,
we will not pull the Will Ferrell stepbrothers and show up for the interviews in tuxedos.
Well, I was actually thinking about, oh gosh, what was that movie? That was Dumb and Dumber, when they show up in the tuxedos.
And the blue.
Yeah, nice set of Hooters you got there.
Yeah.
So,
we won't be doing that.
You don't want me to go baby blue? I'm certainly not going to go orange like Jeff Daniels, but
Wes can wear the orange and you can wear the blue.
Yeah, that'd be great. Use the canes to fence off. Yeah.
Anyway, Mars Music Hall is going to be the place to be. June 19th. It's the 2023 Woody Anderson Ford Rocket City Awards presented by the Huntsville Sports Council. Or the Huntsville Sports Commission, whichever show you listen to and whatever one you want to call it.
It really depends on the show.
And whoever's saying it.
Yeah.
But it is the Huntsville Sports Commission.
It is indeed. Yes. Yes, it is. There is nothing to do with Nashville at all in this awards banquet.
But I guarantee you we will be prepared on June 19th.
Yes, we will.
To have a good time against 2023 Rocket City Awards. We do things. Remember when, what's his name out in California? That Drew, he's never coming for dinner either.
Which one
did
out there?
a talk show host for ESPN. Now he's out on the West Coast.
Colin Cowherd?
Yeah, Colin Cowherd.
Okay.
He's not coming for dinner either.
Is he not?
All right, Jeremy. Let's get to Jeremy real fast. Good morning, Jeremy.
What's going on, guys? It's good to hear a familiar afternoon voice.
Good morning. Good morning.
Man, this NCAA baseball tournament is probably the best tournament I've seen in a long time. That Kentucky-Indiana game was incredible to me. I thought that was a well-played game, no matter what the result. And
it was 2-2 there for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a good game, and that Coastal Carolina Duke game was good too. I kept flipping back and forth, but Alabama's gonna have a tough one.
You think?
I mean,
I brought that up to Wes last night, and he said, "Well, why is this like this?" It's almost as if he was pleading for reseeding after the first round. So,
hey, that Wake Forest team is looking. They are tough, buddy.
Yeah,
and they could come play in the SEC.
Multiple pitching arms. What?
I mean, Wake Forest led the country in ERA. I mean, they are very good, and they hit the ball very well, and they should have in their regional games because, as we said too before, it was like, I mean, they're the overall number 1 seed, and if it's the NCAA basketball tournament, they get the last team in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. Then they got the last 3 teams in their regional. So, I mean, I think Alabama will give them a test. I think Alabama's prepared and playing well to give them a test. Hopefully, Wake Forest won't just roll through it, but I don't see that one happening. I see Alabama pushing in them. I don't know if they can win the series, but I see them pushing Wake Forest.
Oh yeah, and something funny was said the other night. I haven't watched any of the NBA finals. I probably will once it gets to like Game 4 because I really have. I mean, I have no team in the NBA, but I watched a little pregame, and something was said that I feel like that you guys would enjoy, and I feel like they're trying to rip off the SEC. They was talking about Miami, and one of the guys said, you know, with this Miami team, this finals championship, it just means more. And as soon as he said it, I thought, oh, they're not in the SEC. They can't win this.
No, of course not.
Hey, you guys have a good day, and I'm heading off to Texas tonight to play, and I won't get to be listening for the next couple of days. But let's keep Alabama in our hopes and prayers this week as they play Wake Forest.
Well, download the app, brother. Take us wherever you go.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Jeremy.
He's not downloading the app.
You may have already had it down.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows? Maybe. All right, we are done with hour number 1. Hey, when we come back,
more baseball.
We're going to talk college baseball. Yeah. Andrew Abudi is going to join us. Going to talk some Southern Miss baseball. Do the Golden Eagles host this weekend or not? We'll get his feelings coming up next.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Juice Reel, the betting intelligence tool that's making better bettors. Open the App Store and get your hands on Juice Reel. Start betting smarter. Juice R-E-E-L. Juice Reel. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
NBA Finals Game 3 tomorrow night. The series tied at 1. Denver by 2.5. The Nuggets minus 135 on the money line. Miami plus 115. After a 104-93 win over Miami in Game 1, the Nuggets fell 111-108 in Game 2 on Sunday, despite a 41-point performance from Nikola Jokic. Game 3 is Friday night in Miami. The Nuggets minus 275 to win the NBA title. The Heat plus 225. When the playoffs opened, Miami was plus 21,000. Stanley Cup Finals Game 2 last night, the Golden Knights beat the Florida Panthers 7-2 to go up 2-0 in the series.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Welcome back to Talkin' Ball, hour number 2 of Talkin' Ball underway. Scott Theisen and Steve Moulton with us this morning. Drew DeArmond taking a day away to enjoy some time away, just to kind of rest and relax as he spent his time covering the Tuscaloosa Regional, a regional that Alabama got through to the Super Regionals. They're going to take on Wake Forest. And a lot of our attention was in Tuscaloosa, but a lot of our attention was in Auburn as well, because the Auburn Tigers had a great chance as a national seed.
Certainly did.
But when we started breaking down that regional, you knew there were some roadblocks because Southern Miss was a part of that regional there for the Auburn Tigers. And we know Southern Miss last year, they played host to a super regional. This team,
what an atmosphere it was.
Yeah, and the Southern Miss team still, they play baseball. They play great baseball. They fall into the loser's bracket, but they battle their way back. They get through the Auburn Regional. They win the Auburn Regional. Now they await the Tennessee Volunteers. Were they going to be in Hattiesburg? Are they going to be in Knoxville? The committee will have to decide that. But we get to break down everything that happened in the Auburn Regional from a Southern Miss perspective with Andrew Abude now joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Good morning, Andrew. You are with Scott and Steve on a Tuesday.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. It's actually Abadi. I haven't heard that pronunciation.
Oh, well.
And we're going to throw Drew DeArmond under the bus on this one.
Did he not?
He spelled it out. Anyway. Our apologies.
Yeah.
Our apologies.
All good, guys. It happens all the time.
Well, let's talk about the Auburn Regional for Southern Miss. Obviously, there was a lot of feelings around Auburn, and not that it was going to be an easy one for Auburn to go through. We knew it was going to be challenging, but Southern Miss came in. I mean, they could have easily hosted their own regional. Yeah. I mean, they've been playing that good. But they do obviously take care of business in the Auburn Regional.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. They definitely felt like they were deserving the host. I kind of was too, to not sound like a homer. A lot of people were kind of surprised, especially when Dallas Baptist lost. They really thought they kind of locked up that 16 seed, and the committee just went by RPI, which was, I get it. But, I do think I don't want to call it a wrong, but, it was kind of, Southern Miss definitely was put into a regional that they felt like that they could win with Auburn, especially with it being a close regional. And, I got to say, and of course, Auburn and the SEC have been playing good baseball, but, man, Stanford and Penn were two really good baseball teams. I knew coming into that regional that they were playing good baseball at the time, as is everybody this time of year. But those were two really, really good teams that probably did not get talked about, especially Penn. Those guys could play.
How much carryover roster-wise was from last year to this year? Because we all saw the ending of last year and what was just – that was must-watch television last year. I'll be honest with you, Andrew, of – that super regional between Ole Miss and Southern Miss.
Yeah, so roster-wise, they only lost their center fielder, so that lineup is basically the same from last season. But you look at that pitching staff, they lost, I think, 11 arms in total from last year in terms of guys who were the majority of their production. The only, I guess, main centerpiece they had coming back was Tanner Hall, who's their All-American. But you lost 5 guys to the draft. You lost, I think, 2 or 3 other guys to graduation, another guy to a season-ending injury. Hurston Waldrop, who was their Saturday guy, decided to transfer to Florida. So they had a lot of production to replace, and I know Southern Miss kind of got off to a slow start that year, so you could imagine it was a lot of the year was just trying to figure out and get the pitching going, and they finally figured that out about, I don't know, last third of in the last 21 games is when they finally got it going. They won 19 of their last 21, went on a 15-game win streak, and they've just been clicking on all cylinders, actually, after they played Coastal Carolina.
I'm only seeing a handful of games where that last game you had 7 runs scored on you, and that's the most since Troy back on May 25th, 6 runs there. But, yeah, it's – wow, if you get that consistent type of you're hard to beat is my point.
Yeah, and, last year they were a lot deeper, and just, kind of telling you the numbers, you're just telling you how you have 5 guys get taken in the draft just as a kind of testament to that. They're not quite as deep, but I think the talent is still there. They really got about 6 guys that they really, really could trust to get shutdown innings. After that, it's kind of hold your breath. On Monday, they went back to 3 guys that had already pitched earlier in the week, which was Tanner Hall, who started on Friday. Billy Oldham started on Saturday. And then another guy who came in to close on Saturday as well came in to pitch, the Monday championship game.
Well, I mean, the big story surrounding Southern Miss is they do get to play a Southern Regional, and it just extends the legendary coaching career of Scott Berry. I mean, he announced his retirement earlier in the season. It just means that they keep this thing going for him.
Yeah, most definitely. There's no shortage of things for Southern Miss to be playing for. And, I actually wrote a column about this. Last year it was about them finally breaking through to a super regional. They had been so close for the last 4 or 5 years, been 2 straight regional finals, and they just fell short. And so when they beat LSU last year, it was like, the monkey off the back. And I think, there might have been some hangover heading into the super. No knock to Ole Miss because they were playing lights out baseball at the time. But this time, and they dogpiled. They had this crazy celebration at Pete Taylor Park. And this time it was a lot different. There was no dog pile. At one point, it just felt like a regular season game. And, they've talked about that this is the expectation now at Southern Miss. And you add into the fact that the original storyline of the year was Southern Miss trying to be the 3rd straight Mississippi team to win a national title. And now you add into the fact that they're trying to send Scott Berry off the sunset. I mean, there's just no shortage of things for this program to play for right now.
Well, what's your feeling for later today? Now, does Southern Miss get to host this super regional for the 2nd year in a row, or do you think they're going to have to go to Knoxville?
No, I think they're hosting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel as strongly as about the national seed? Comparing what your feeling was heading into the tournament.
I thought, going back to just hosting the regional, I was like 50-50 on the fence. I thought that they were deserving, but I knew that RPI was just not quite there. I mean, going off of what John Cohen had to say after in the media press conference of taking questions, it really sounded like Southern Miss would have been that 17 team, the 17th team to host a regional if that was a thing. Like they were just right there, and they talked about how the Campbell and Southern Miss were right on the edge. Tennessee never popped up in that conversation of teams that they were strongly considering to host. So to me, that kind of, I feel like that is something in their corner. And then another thing to kind of consider, Bill McGillis is on the committee, who was former Southern Miss athletic director. He's now at San Diego. And then another guy to kind of know is Southeastern Louisiana's athletic director. His son is also on Southern Miss's team as well. So, you got 2 guys I would like to think that is in Southern Miss's corner.
With all the changing from schools to conferences, how good is the relationship between Southern Miss and the Fun Belt?
Yeah, I mean, I would think it's been pretty good. They've played the Sun Belt teams and non-conference play in every sport for so long, and that's why it made sense, because that's where all the rivalries were growing. South Alabama's 2 hours down the road. You got ULM and UL 4 hours down the road, and these are all teams that they've played all the time and have had some really heated games with. Troy's another one that they've had a lot of heated games with. I mean, it's been a lot of fun and really enjoyable. Southern Miss fans like to travel, and there's been no shortage of competition in every sport this season: football, basketball, and baseball. And as a guy who had to cover Conference USA for so long, it's a lot different, a lot more competitive in every sport. And you just have these smaller schools with really diehard fan bases, and it really makes for, as everybody calls it, the Fun Belt.
Well, how do you see this series stacking up with Tennessee? Tennessee coming out of the Clemson Regional playing awfully good baseball. How do you see this series between Southern Miss and Tennessee?
Yeah, I haven't quite done my homework on Tennessee. I know Tennessee is not what they were last year, but they obviously are playing good baseball right now to beat a really good Clemson team. Although they didn't have to play Clemson twice, Charlotte did them kind of a favor. I do think if Southern Miss hosts this Super, that is going to play big into this game, because Southern Miss is very, very good at home, have only lost 4 games. I don't think they lost a home game in the last month and a half of the season. And you look at Tennessee, they are not good on the road. Of course, the Clemson Regional being an exception. And I just think that's going to be a major storyline, because P. Taylor Park is, it's a very different environment, and I think that is going to be a difference. And I also just think if Southern Miss has the chance to experience a second Super Regional, I don't think the moment is going to get too big for them this time. And you look at Tennessee; they're trying to, they were the last year's #1 seed, and they get upset by Notre Dame, and I just think them going on the road is a really, really tough challenge. I am worried about Southern Miss's pitching, since they had 2 of their starters pitch on Monday. If they get a Saturday, Sunday, Monday Super Regional, that would kind of be better in terms of rest. But if they got to play Friday, then that's a quick turnaround for some pitching, and I wonder how that will go. But, of course, Tennessee's got some great pitching, too, and I don't know how Southern Miss's lineup will stack up with that. They're a very streaky bunch.
All right, well, Andrew, we thank you for your time this morning, and if they do get to host, I'm sure Hattiesburg will be quite a festive scene this weekend.
Yeah, most definitely, especially with, you like to think with Ole Miss and Mississippi State not being in the NCAA tournament, you would think with just how obsessed Mississippi people are with baseball, this is going to be almost like a mecca of sorts. So I'm expecting it to be crazy.
Andrew, thanks for your time. Let everybody know how they can find you.
Yeah, guys, you can find me on Twitter at Andrew Abadie. That's ABADIE. And, of course, you can follow Pine Belt Sports on all platforms.
We heard that, Andrew.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, we heard that.
No, I do that all
the time. I'm messing with you, Andrew. We're messing with you.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for having me on.
All right. Andrew Abadie with
the last series they lost at home.
Yeah.
The series they've lost at home was February 24th, 25th, and 26th, and when they lost 2 out of 3 against the Fighting Illini of Illinois.
All right, we got to get a break in. When we come back, I know how to say this last name. Ramsey Robinson. Going to join us. He spent the day yesterday at the White House. We'll explain next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Still not a bad ride in. I don't see anything causing major problems this morning. Traffic seems to be moving nicely. No wrecks, no stalls, no traffic signal problems to report. You be careful. Enjoy the break while you got it. Popeye Shrimp Tackle Box has 8 crispy, Louisiana seasoned butterfly shrimp with a signature side and a buttermilk biscuit. It's only $6. Popeye's University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com. The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at 5. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
Your home is the place where you know your loved ones are secure. But the things that keep your home protected can't keep pests at bay. That's where RAID comes in. For 60 years, RAID scientists have worked to protect people around the world. With trusted research, ingredients, testing standards, and product efficacy, RAID seeks to create a better future for all. Especially the ones you love most. RAID. Protection for all.
Ronald on the move, pitch on the way. This is stroked high in the air, deep right center field. Here comes some smoke. Wow! 2-0 Atlanta.
Listen to Atlanta Braves baseball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Well, we're hoping here to get Andrew. We're hoping to get Ramsey Robinson in here. He said he would join us, but the number that I have did not work. So we're going to hopefully get Ramsey here in a minute.
It was a big day yesterday. They did not opt out, that being the Kansas City Chiefs, to go into the White House, unlike the college football national champion that opted out not to go to the White House.
But your Georgia Bulldogs said it was because of academic and recruiting weekends.
Yeah,
because remember, Kirby Smart is outworking Nick Saban because Nick Saban went to Italy.
I'll tell you, my entire week down in Destin, maybe the biggest reaction I got was that you're kind of huddled in this hallway area, and Nick Saban walks past me. I think this was on Wednesday of last week. And I said, Coach, I need to know more about this Ferrari factory. He stopped, turned around, and said, I got 2 of them in my garage. Come on over for a ride. And I was just like, yeah, Coach, you don't have to ask me twice. I'll be in that garage next week. Now, what I didn't know was apparently you have to take a 30-minute class before you even test ride a Ferrari. Did you know that? You have to take a class on how to drive a Ferrari? I'm sure that was a fun experience if they made Nick Saban do that. You see Nick Saban going through a 30-minute class on how to drive a car?
Well, yeah, because he's VIP. He's not having to wait in line and, the next available class for test driving a Ferrari begins in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
If he wants to test drive a Ferrari, he's test driving it whenever he wants to.
Just the visual thought of Nick Saban having to go through a 30-minute class before he steps into a Ferrari is fantastic.
But it says in a regular car dealership, you can walk in and test drive a vehicle in a matter of minutes. Ferrari is a bit different. You might be able to test drive a Ferrari at a dealership if you're a serious buyer and to put a deposit down on a vehicle. Note that some dealerships don't allow test drives.
Was that Son of a Woman where they walked in and...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's go to the phone lines. Mark from Huntsville with us. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hey, morning. That 30 minutes probably, other than Nick Saban, is probably every kind of check known to man: criminal background check, financial check.
No! It's a video. Evidently, getting into a Ferrari is different than any other.
If you want to test drive one in Italy, it depends on the duration and car model. A duration of 10 to 15 minutes can go from anywhere between 150 to 200 euros. That's a 10-minute. I don't even know what 150 to 200 euros means here. But that's for 10 to 15 minutes of driving a Ferrari.
I've got a chance one time to go in a Lamborghini up through going to the Ocoee. And all I can tell you, and there was nothing in front of us, so we got through there in about 21 minutes. If you've ever been to the Ocoee, it takes you a good hour normally. So all I can say, and this is a this is a Lamborghini, Ferrari's they're pretty similar and they cost about the same. But they both ride very well, low to the ground, and they can go hairpin turns, very, very, they ride very. I know why they're so expensive. I know why, so I'll never be able to afford one. But
I mean, if you're,
he can get all he wants of them.
If you're test driving a Ferrari, how open do you go with the vehicle?
Ooh.
I mean, are you really trying to get into the turns at 110, 120 miles an hour, or are you going to take it like 60 miles an hour because you don't have the money to cover?
So I did have two other jokers right after that little event occurred, saying, if you crash Nick Saban's car, what that would do for your career.
So you would do it intentionally. You would drive it into a tree intentionally.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, no, that's not going to happen.
No, but hey, I thought I had pulled off the road. Something I thought I heard that cannot be true, and Steve would be the only one that could tell me the truth on this. Did I hear that Kirby Smart turned down his team going to the White House?
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Let me give you my knee-jerk reaction to that. Okay, I don't care if it's if it's a political reason, and I don't care if it's a Democrat or a Republican reason. Those guys, that right there.
Yeah, it's an experience.
And Kirby, I thought I knew him better. He's the guy. Of course, everybody knows goes to Alabama 9 years, and I'm shocked that are they not getting shockwaves back at Georgia, or are the fans more like, no big deal, we'll go there.
They're saying no big deal, and I didn't like that for many reasons, and most notably if you have an opportunity to give your team a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
But why not do it right now, though? Why not? If you're the White House, why do you have and the reason why I bring this up is because the Kansas City Chiefs yesterday were at the White House, and former Butler, Alabama standout Ramsey Robinson, who's the player engagement director for the Chiefs, he was part of that ceremony. But why not do it right now? If you're the White House, And if you're why not say, hey, come right now, come the day after Georgia does it, or the Kansas City Chiefs? Why wait until the middle of the time when it is the time when it is busy for college football? That's more on the White House.
Yeah.
And
okay. So am I getting it wrong here? Did the White House? I know that. Did they delay and not invite Georgia during January or during some opportunity?
It was later.
It's actually coming up during this.
I thought timeline-wise, it was in previous years in early April.
Right.
But this time around, it was later in June, and June was more of the recruiting crunch, and that's why.
It's literally, okay, it was a June 12th visit. A statement released on Tuesday. The invitation for the June 12th visit was made on May 3rd. The White House reached out on May 3rd and invited him to come on June 12th. And it wasn't feasible given the student-athlete calendar and the time of the year.
Yeah.
Which, that would have meant, you're coming in 6 days. Right in the middle of the heart of recruiting. Right in the middle of the heart of everything, summer camps, you got kids doing all kinds of things. That's not a great time for a college football team to assemble and go to the White House.
Hold on a second. I don't mean to. June recruiting. Let me think. In June, normally coaches. A lot of them. That's the
well. You're thinking the old calendar, and I understand that, but this is a new calendar where a lot of recruits schedule their visits now because of the early signing date in December.
Yeah, and they're on camp. They got camps on campuses. You got
they do have. Yeah.
And so this is a busy time. And if you go into Athens, Georgia, and you ask them, would you rather have Kirby Smart host a team camp or go to the White House for a visit?
Yes. I go to the White House for those young guys that. Let me say this. What's the guy? Sweeney, Dabo. He probably thought he'd be going back. His team would be going back. The next year or the year after, whatever. It's been 5 or 6, and then Nick Saban. We probably thought as an Alabama fan, we'd be going back 21, 22. It hadn't happened. Georgia has won it the last 2 years, so they only got one pitcher. Right?
That's right.
So that's the reason you go. Everything else is really excuses. I think, Steve, you would agree with me, right?
Oh, yeah. No, you can take a day that it would you need to take a day to go to the White House.
But
no matter who's in office, no matter what your political affiliations
are.
But
do you think it's all political affiliated?
I genuinely believe that Kirby is totally locked in, focused on camps as well as recruiting, and that was on his mind to try to get this done.
Let's get to Floyd real fast. Good morning, Floyd.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good.
Just wanted to weigh in on the conversation about the White House. We're really making this a lot more complicated than what it really is. Normally it's fly up there, go to the White House, be in D.C. for a little while, turn around and fly back.
Yeah.
You're going to be going one day.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
That just seems a little lame to me.
No, it could be. And they could have, and Georgia could have easily used the "we're busy."
That's when you need
to make it sound better.
But this is when you need an athletic director to step up and be an athletic director, and no matter who the coach is, and say, you have to go. You have to go.
Yeah. Really? Yeah. I agree with you. All right, guys. That's all I wanted to.
All right, thanks, Floyd. Yeah, it's interesting. Because remember the blowback. I think LSU went. I think the LSU women are going. Anyway, we got to get a break in. Vince Ferrara is going to join us. Maybe he'll know about Southern Miss because he knows about Tennessee baseball.
Yeah,
we'll talk. Yeah. We'll talk with Vince Ferrara coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. Some of us could see the lower 90s. Isolated showers are going to be possible. Most of us probably end up staying dry. Temperatures drop into the low and mid 60s through the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Wednesday. We're climbing into the mid and upper 80s with a couple of isolated showers. Dropping into the lower 60s as we head into the overnight. A little cooler on Thursday, still with a partly sunny sky. Temperatures climbing into the lower 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Just got a wreck in Decatur. This one is 6th Avenue and 9th Street. It sounds like they've moved it off into a parking lot. That one is coming in as a no injury. Everything else looks good. I don't see any other snags for you. Don't forget you got turn lane construction that's going on Wall Triana around Electronics Boulevard. No hose, no mask. You can ask Dr. Sandman, that's Dr. Sandlin, for the medically proven benefits of the Somnodent for sleep apnea and for snoring. Dr. Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Eck in the North Parkway, Popeyes, Skywatch Traffic Center.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have the state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, people call the award-winning burgers totally insane, which is a compliment because Bad Daddy's Burgers are just that, chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness built with premium Angus beef. They're bold and they're bad. Pair one with one of their signature cocktails or assortment of local craft brews. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, 2317 Memorial Parkway. Check out our menu and even order online at BadDaddy'sBurgerBar.com.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at BobWallaceAppliance.com.
And the Oscar goes to...
Coming up on Monday, June 19th, our inaugural Woody Anderson Ford Rocket City Awards, presented by the Huntsville Sports Commission, will be at the Mars Music Hall. For tickets, email 977tickets@gmail.com.
All All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Steve Moulton with us on a Tuesday morning. As we mentioned, Drew DeArmond enjoying some time away. Drew will be gone on, I believe, Thursday and Friday as well.
Oh, yeah.
I will be gone Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and Monday of next week.
That's right.
So
get ready.
Jet setting out of here. And but before we do that, though, we got 30 minutes left of the show. And we got to talk Super Regional Baseball, and the Tennessee Volunteers went down to the Clemson Regional, and really the expectation for Tennessee was that was one of those regionals that people circled. That was one of the regionals that people circled that said, okay, I think the host team is in jeopardy here. And Tennessee did some things along the way, got some breaks along the way, and they are headed to the Super Regionals, just like everybody drew it up. To help us break it all down, our good friend Vince Ferrara from the Sports Animal. They're in Knoxville, joining us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Vince, good morning, buddy.
Gentlemen, good morning. How are we?
Good. Just like Tony Vitello's group, feeling good on a Tuesday.
For sure. They played as complete, I think, of 3 games as we've seen them. Certainly it was a little nervy in that middle game with Clemson, but you had a really good team and playing arguably the best game of any in the NCAA tournament so far. I mean, that was high level to really good teams doing battle, going back and forth, both of them on the brink numerous times, obviously going to 14 innings. Tennessee down to their final strike twice before rallying in that 9th inning with the 3-run homer by Zane Denton, who hit that home run on a 2-strike pitch, and as did Blake Burke earlier in the inning with 2 strikes. Caden Grice, their starter, almost had a complete game and a dominant gem, sending Tennessee in the loser's bracket. But you execute when you're relaxed and confident like Tennessee was, and you're able to keep it moving. And then in the 10th inning, Tennessee was able against them. Clemson loaded the bases and got out of the bases loaded, nobody out jam with a strikeout and then a double play, and they needed replay to go to it because originally they ruled the runner safe at first, which scored the winning run, so they thought, and then they went to replay. He was out at first. That was out number 3. And so you keep it moving, and it was just a wild game. But the biggest thing that Tennessee did is they defended. They played great defense, which at times has been a struggle for them when they haven't played well away from Lindsey Nelson Stadium. But when they're good, that defense makes their pitching staff that's already elite, makes it even better because they can boss the game more. Then their offense relaxes. They're not pressing as much. They're not playing from behind, feeling like they have to make up for what was already errors and issues from before. So this team is so connected in all the different parts of the game. But to me, it started with their defense and led to them being clutch throughout.
From the way you're describing that 6-5 win over Clemson, where does that rank for you personally on memorable games that you've called, Vince?
Well, John Wilkerson was handling that one. I did not make the trip. Had to be back here to hold things down in Knoxville because we host the morning show as well.
Oh, but that's right, yeah.
In terms of my partner, John Wilkerson, it was high. Now, he's seen a lot. He goes back a long time. He's been working for the Vol Network over 30 years. So he's been to the College World Series and been in some epic ones. And then, look, over the last couple of years, Tennessee has had some massive wins. And then 2 years ago, they were doing it more with the dramatics, with the walk-off home runs and things like that. So he's got to stack some of them up over the last couple of years. But the Denton home run was memorable for a lot of Vols fans that absolutely love John for his end-of-game calls. When I'm with him, I'm calling the middle inning. So John is the one that you hear on those end-of-game calls and those dramatic moments late, and rightfully so because he conveys that absolute passion he has for Tennessee baseball. So definitely up there for him. I don't know specifically where he would rank it, though.
Well, this is exactly where Tennessee was expected to be, right, Vince? At the beginning of the year was in a super regional. The regular season, not quite the way they wanted. But now they're in a super regional, still 2 games away now from getting back to Omaha, or getting to Omaha. But are you feeling like they're going to have to go on the road to Hattiesburg, or are they going to be in Knoxville?
Boy, I do think it's close to 50-50. I've heard some people say that they think it's going to be Hattiesburg, and I think Tennessee checks more boxes than Hattiesburg does. Southern Miss, they actually drew a few more fans than Tennessee did at the Supers last year. I think that was a unique situation, though, because you had Ole Miss as an in-state opponent there. So, sure, that's going to fill the house. Tennessee has a better RPI. Tennessee beat the higher-ranked team that was hosting a regional. From a city hotel, what you would think would be a lot of those, venue. There's a lot of things that Tennessee does check the boxes in, but you just never know. You don't know what those bids are. You don't know what the priorities are. I know there's a fair amount of state of Mississippi representation in the committee. So, who knows how much that influences them? Maybe just from a frequency standpoint. Well, Tennessee's got to host the Super Regional, the last couple of years. Southern Miss did it last year, but they're not in this spot very much. Let's give it to a different site since it's so close. Southern Miss was close to hosting. Tennessee probably wasn't as close, but that's only because of all the other SEC teams that were hogging up all the spots, and you knew they wouldn't go 9. So how do you view that? I'm not going to be shocked either way, but I would lean Tennessee, but I've also seen plenty of people lean towards Hattiesburg.
Well, we all remember the Notre Dame series, and that certainly left a bad taste in a lot of Vol fans' mouth. And to get a chance to redeem yourself, this feels like a golden opportunity here for the Vols, Vince.
For sure. And here's the thing: I think there's some similarities in the team makeup of Southern Miss and Notre Dame. Notre Dame came in and they were not afraid or intimidated at Tennessee, despite them being a really dominant team throughout the year. They came in confident, hitting line drives, and then could really pitch. Now, I think the Southern Miss team has shown maybe when their offense is going to be a more explosive offensively, and maybe Notre Dame could pitch just a little bit better, but I think both of these two teams have swagger, and Southern Miss would not be intimidated. They go up against SEC competition all the time. So they will be a challenge. I thought they'd be a much bigger challenge than Penn, but home away. I don't. To me, I'm not overly impacted by that. I think we could flush the Tennessee doesn't play well away from Lindsey Nelson discussion. It's a clean slate when you get to the postseason. Granted, what they've done is more recent in the NCAA tournament in Clemson and then closing the season at South Carolina. But, man, this team we knew had the upside. They had the potential. They had the talent. It just took them a while to come together. They had 8 new position players, and it took them a while to figure things out and then getting guys in the right roles. They settled on their best defensive lineup and ended up playing their best offense because of the defense. Like I mentioned, I think it's all connected, and then you have all the Tennessee starters pitching as well as they have all year. They have depth in arms like nobody else does. They haven't even used a lot of quality arms so far. They didn't need to. In that 14-inning marathon with Clemson, they only used 3 pitchers. Clemson used 10. So I think there's definitely advantages that Tennessee has, regardless of where it's played.
I thought it was kind of funny that a lot of people, a lot of national writers that cover college baseball were talking about Tennessee this past weekend, saying that, everybody across the country, tried to pick on Tennessee last year and put rules in place for celebration and everything. And, got to stop Tennessee from being so flamboyant. And then Clemson, of all the regionals, it's a guy from Clemson that gets ejected for celebrating. And now other coaches are complaining that the rules are too strict.
Well, I think what that came down to that they weren't really talking about during the broadcast, and I agree. I think they're too sensitive, but Canarella was warned prior to, and then when he came in chirping from center field to Zane Denton, he was warned again, and then when he was going back towards his dugout, he was still looking back and chirping again. So do you still hope they give him more rope? Absolutely. Talk happens in the sport, in all sports. But the rules, it is a problem with the rules. I don't think it's, hey, now that, this happened, we got to change it. It's that the rules are set up for them to be overly sensitive, and so the umpires are executing what they're being told needs to be enforced and not allow that talk. Now, maybe that's an overreaction to Tennessee last year. Probably is, but it is what was emphasized in place for those umpires. So Tennessee's been in that situation before where guys have been thrown out. I think it was Christian Moore got tossed, and you're like, what in the world? He barely said anything, as because he was warned earlier. So those kind of things will happen. You just have to be able to adjust and just shut up and complain, and celebrate with your guys. And just real quick, Stephen, your previous point, and that experience against Notre Dame, and then going back to the College World Series as well for the guys that were here for that, I do think there is motivation for them. Now, there's plenty of other guys on this team that are transfers or freshmen that weren't a part of that. But, yeah, it's a driving force for those other guys to, say that, look, we put in the work. We know what how it sucks to have your season end with all the hard work that you put in. Let's be better in that. Here's what we can do better. So I do think for those guys, it does resonate moving forward and trying to be better this time around.
So, Vince, last week I had the good fortune of going down to Dustin, and it was fun to bump into Jimmy. And one, I was surprised about bumping into Jimmy. And two, if that's retirement, dude worked harder than anybody that I've seen down there. He was all over the place.
Every year.
Yeah.
Every single year. And look, we joked to him. We joked with him about it because he was retired. He still does a golf show on our station. He's still going to do our game day pregame shows. He's going to cover the SEC media days in Nashville this year. The thing is, he gets to pick and choose what he wants to do.
That's true. Yeah.
And we're going to welcome him because he's the one-on-one interviews that he gets, and you guys are welcome to it at 991thesportsannual.com. You guys are, just getting head football coaches one-on-ones.
Yeah.
ADs and all that. So he does an amazing job. I think he ended up sending back 30 audio cuts of interviews.
Well, because I kept asking him day by day, what number are we on today? And I think after day one, he was at 16, and I was like, 16? Yeah. What are you doing to me?
It is unbelievable. He's an octopus out there, man. He's got he had 3 recorders and his phone.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Vince, what does your gut tell you about? What does your gut tell you about this series?
Yeah, I think Tennessee should win, but man, you just never know from one round to the other in the NCAA tournament. Tennessee a couple of years ago had tremendous momentum going into Omaha, and then they just ran into some tough matchups with elite pitching. So I think it'll be tough. Southern Miss has dudes on the mound. And in the field, they're an experienced team, so those are ones you also have to kind of worry about. But Tennessee is an older team also. They're not reliant on a bunch of freshmen everywhere. And when Ole Miss made the run last year, they did it with a dude and Tim Elko and a very experienced team to kind of keep everybody in check and then come together and play their best ball. So I think they have that. The pitching depth should rise up over a 3-game series. And so I do like Tennessee to advance and get back to Omaha, which obviously would be a lot of fun.
All right, Vince. Thanks for everything.
All right, appreciate you guys. You guys be good.
All right, Vince Ferrara with us there. We got to get a break in. Tomorrow's headline is going to wrap us up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It looks like we're going to wrap the morning up with just one accident in Decatur, 6th Avenue and 9th Street. Sounds like they pulled it off into a parking lot. That one was reported as a no-injury accident. And you got turn lane construction to watch out for on Wall Triana at Electronics Boulevard. That one could be a snag for you for several days. From routine care to heart failure, Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialists on Bob Wallace Avenue have the expertise to care for all matters of the heart. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane, Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, people call the award-winning burgers totally insane, which is a compliment because Bad Daddy's Burgers are just that, chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness built with premium Angus beef. They're bold and they're bad. Pair one with one of their signature cocktails or assortment of local craft brews. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, 2317 Memorial Parkway. Check out our menu and even order online at BadDaddy'sBurgerBar.com.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Steve Moulton, your tomorrow's headlines today. And while the committee's got a choice to make between Tennessee and Southern Miss to decide on who's going to host a regional, Terre Haute, Indiana State, they cannot host a regional. Even though they are a national seed, They're one of the top 16 seeds.
That's right.
They are going to take on TCU. Now, here's the problem. Remember last week, Kentucky bid for hosting a regional. There was a country music festival in Lexington, took up all their hotel rooms. So Kentucky pivoted and put everybody in dorm rooms last week. And we made fun of the dorm accommodations on the show because literally it was like walking into your first day of college. What was the dorm room, Bailey, that we were referenced to in Alabama? I can't remember. Boy, you just forget everything.
I don't remember all the hall names. I always say the hall names.
Anyway, so it was like showing up and just having a mattress on a bed. But anyway, Indiana State is running into a problem that, and this is, it's a good and bad problem. The Indiana State Special Olympics is in Terre Haute this weekend.
Is it really?
And it's like the 51st year that they've hosted this or something, and it's tied up every one of the hotel rooms. Indiana State, though, has also played host to the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament, NCAA Regionals in back-to-back weekends. So they said personnel are already been stretched thin because of back-to-back weekends. They've got the Special Olympics going on in Terre Haute. There are no hotel rooms, so Indiana State has to play a super regional in TCU. That's why Indiana State can't host a super regional.
And TCU, this just in, those bats are red hot.
Yeah. I did not realize this also. There's a new Indiana Jones movie.
Oh, yeah.
June 30th.
Yeah, that series just keeps going.
I thought it was dead.
No. Yeah.
How old is Harrison Ford?
Oh, gosh. Over under 82. I'll set it at 82.
How fast can you Google Harrison
Ford is 80. He's 80. So you should have taken the under.
Woo!
80 years old.
All right. I am out of here. I am headed to Oregon.
Safe travels.
I will be back on Tuesday.
Guys, music can inspire us. Let the concert quality sound system at Zoom Indoor Cycling help push you harder than you ever thought possible. No matter if you're a beginner or an experienced rider, you'll ride top-of-the-line Stages SC3 bikes as the most talented instructors in North Alabama motor